why you should avoid buying a Canyon bike in the US, even if it's your dream bike, like this one was mine. Now, 2 weeks ago, I started to float around the idea to sign up for an Ironman, which, of course, as you would probably guess, requires a long time on the bike. Now, I had a 2013 Pinarello Rock that I absolutely loved. It was my first carbon fiber bike. It was my first true road racing bike. It has served its purpose, but simply it was time to upgrade. I wanted a bike with more modern technology, with a more modern layout, and just utilizing all things that are available in 2025. So I turned my eyes to nowhere else than the best place for deals, Facebook Marketplace. You guessed it. And what I found was this beauty, this 2021 Canyon CF SLX, just absolute beauty. Matte black with the glossy graphics, size 56, carbon fiber wheels, just an overall beautiful bike. And I think that's the problem. I focused so much on the look of this bike. I got sucked into the lore that is Canyon. When you go onto TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and you get to your feed, you see all these wonderful Canyon bikes in these glorious places, and you just get sucked in. And I think that's normal. And the problem is I wasn't paying attention to the fact that all of these people were based outside of the US. And that's really where one of the core problems is. When you're in the US and you own a Canyon, to get replacement parts, to get service, to get customer help, whatever it may be, is all extended and it all takes additional time. So, the number one reason to avoid buying a Canyon is simply for the cost of replacement parts and or the lack thereof replacement parts. Now, let me tell you a quick story to actually put this into context. So I wanted aero bars on this bike. On any other bike in the US, you pay $100 to $300 and you can get clip-on aero bars. Bam. Very, very simple. This bike does not have clip-on aero bars, and they are not available yet for purchase in the US. The good news is they will be available in November or December of 2025. The bad news is they will run you about $700. I repeat, $700 for a pair of aero bars. And not only that, I discovered that my handlebars were not the handlebars that had the appropriate adapter for the aero bars, meaning I would have to spend another $300 to $400, and that's not including shipping, tax, install, on just the handlebars. And so at the end of the day, I'm spending between $1,100 to $1,500 just to put what should be a $150 part on my bike. And so when I first got the bike, I was like, well, you're not going to really deal with replacement parts like Shimano, SRAM, like that's all US stuff. And right away, I realized that I'm going to have issues with parts that I need. Now, the second issue is I went to a professional bike fitting today, and this was one of those old school gentlemen who, yeah, maybe he had computers, but he didn't need it. He had that knowledge in his mind. And what I learned from him was while Canyon is a fantastic bike, it's not set up or ideal for everyone. So what you can see is this long extended tube. And what that means is when you're in that riding position, your arms could potentially be locked depending on how your body type is. And so for me right away, he instantly said, "Hey, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but this bike isn't going to work out for you. It's too far extended. You don't have the flexibility. You don't have the torso length for this bike to be appropriate for you." And so there was point number two where the geometry of this bike may not be ideal. even if the size is correct. This is a size 56. That's what size bike I have. That's what size bike I've always used, was a size 56. But the way that the geometry of the bike is set up means I'm extending myself, which is just going to give me back pain, arm numbness, and all the negative things that come along when you're doing these long training rides. So while Canyon may be your dream bike, like it was mine, I really urge you to think about the everyday facts of owning a Canyon. And that is, maybe you're like me and you get fitted and you need to make a modification. Maybe that part's available in the US, maybe it's not. If it is available, maybe it costs you 3 or 4x the cost of a normal part on any other type of bike. And as you look at your body composition, your height, your lengths, all that measurement stuff, you also have to think about the geometry of the bike. So the best thing you can do is to go to your local bike shop, go on Google, look at reviews, try to find those local experts that will give you a true understanding of not just selling you a bike in their store, but rather really helping walk you through the type of bike that you need. And understand, every bike more than likely has to be a little bit customized for you for it to be the ultimate maximum experience and comfort. And that might just mean moving things forward, back, left, right, higher, lower. And that's normal. And your local bike expert should be able to help you with that. So I've been rambling for too long, but I just really felt that I need to get this message out there that if you are in the US, I would truly think twice about getting that Canyon bike, even if it's your dream bike.